I'm just gonna say it. There's a stigma against the fans of professional wrestling. We're the less than sports enthusiasts who are constantly stereotyped as uneducated, childish rednecks. And to be fair, all sports have those. And, you know, they're not lacking amongst professional wrestlers either. Now, you may not think that you know anyone that watches professional wrestling, but I assure you, you do. Closeted fans just don't want to admit it and be forced to answer your dumb questions. Yeah, I watch professional wrestling. You know professional wrestling's fake, right? Yes, I do. But today, I'm not here to explain kayfabe. Just look it up, trust me. I'm here to answer the question that my mother has been asking for 30 years. Why would anyone watch that? First, let's talk about what happens in your brain when you watch a sport of any kind. We have these cells called mirror neurons that keep track of what others around us do, say, think, and want. According to Kelly McGonigal's book, The Willpower Instinct, this is why we have empathy. When someone trips, we wince because for a moment we can feel their pain. Mirror neurons can respond to others' pain, but also their emotions. So when you see someone like The Undertaker fall from a 12-foot ladder through 2 sets of tables, it's terrifying and exhilarating. The mirror neurons cause an adrenaline rush. And what does that adrenaline rush do? It releases dopamine, the happy hormone. Ergo, wrestling makes you happy, Mom! There's also the element of catharsis. Turns out it's not HR appropriate to dropkick your boss or smash your annoying coworker in the back with a steel chair.
Yeah, it's not that.
But in the WWE universe, these storylines are perfectly acceptable. Here's proof. This is a photo of the former WWE CEO, Vince McMahon, on the receiving end of a frog splash from Kevin Owens. So why would pouncing on an executive be cathartic? I mean, come on! According to Freud, we have 3 parts to our psyche. The id, the ego, and the superego. The id is responsible for unconscious, impulsive, animalistic urges, like wanting to put Don from accounting in a submission hold. The superego is the opposite of the id. It counters the urges with morals and societal expectations. i.e., it's not very nice to put your coworker in a headlock. The ego is the part in the middle that evaluates all of the information and helps us make rational decisions. Don drives me bonkers, but I only have to see him for an hour on our Wednesday meetings. I'll survive without putting him in a headlock. What does this have to do with combat sports? First, it's a reminder that we all have the capacity to be aggressive. It's one of our primal instincts. Second, even though we can't violently take out our frustrations in real life, there's a catharsis in watching someone else do it. While watching wrestling, we get to live vicariously through the contenders. Plus, there's a comfort knowing that deep down, it's all really fake. We don't really want anyone to get hurt. Crazy story about this. When I moved out to LA, I stopped in Las Vegas and there was a match between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg and I lost my mind. Dude, ego, super ego out the window. He was beating Goldberg in front of his son with a chair and I was bloodthirsty. Get him! Get Goldberg! Everyone in the stadium was like 100% behind this massacre that was happening in front of us. Anyway, wrestling, pretty freaking crazy. But what's even more cathartic than the absolute aggression and monstrosity is when the little guy wins. I mean, after all, everyone loves an underdog. It's been scientifically proven. In one study, people were given fictional statistics for 2 basketball teams. They chose to root for the underdog 88% of the time. And professional wrestling is filled with these David and Goliath stories. Let's take, for instance, Sami Zayn. He's a 6'1", 212-pound, red-headed Canadian and a beloved underdog. And if you're wondering if this is small for WWE, 6'1" is the average height, but 212 pounds is on the lighter side, especially when there are guys on the roster that weigh over 400 pounds. counts. This dude makes me look tiny. Tiny! My neighbor thinks that we look alike. Now meet Roman Reigns. He's a 6'3", 265-pound foreboding Samoan and the villain that you love to hate. And believe it or not, these two have a fiery rivalry. Now, in real life, it's pretty unlikely that Reigns would lose to Zayn. But in the WWE universe, all bets are off. In fact, Zayn did pin Reigns in this year's Elimination Chamber event. Unfortunately, the referee was knocked unconscious and unable to make the count. I'm still mad about it! After about 30 minutes of a hard-fought match, Roman Reigns eventually won. He was then booed out of the Montreal Stadium, which I can imagine was another cathartic experience for fans. I actually recorded myself watching this match for this video. I guess you can see my disappointment right here. And if this is really piquing your interest, we actually made a whole video on Malcolm Gladwell's Underdog book, David and Goliath. One interesting thing he gets into is not just why we like underdogs, but how they're ever able to beat real top dogs in real life. You gotta check it out. What if Sami Zayn had won that match? On occasions where David heroically overcomes Goliath, are we celebrating in David's success or rejoicing in Goliath's failure? Schadenfreude is a German term that literally means damage and joy. It refers to the joy we get from someone else's misfortune. If Zayn had managed to pull off that win over Reigns, we likely would have experienced pleasure. Not just because Zayn won, but because Reigns lost. Reigns often cheats, gaslights, and manipulates people. From our point of view, he would have had it coming. Schadenfreude is particularly relevant when the favorite has unlimited resources. You know, in other words, a ton of money. This is why so many bad guy wrestlers use the shtick of rich jerk. They're easy to hate. Look at Vince McMahon. At the end of the day, no one has a perfect life. We've all encountered bullies, entitled jerks, toxic loved ones, painful breakups, dishonest peers, and professional wrestling depicts all of these characters. Maybe in some sort of weird way, it's a form of therapy. We get to safely watch others play out extreme scenarios. We can choose to identify with the heroes and fight for what is just. Or we can cheer on the bad guy and harmlessly explore the dark side. Either way, it's a great form of entertainment. From the stories to the athleticism to the firing of mirror neurons and the resulting adrenaline rush. So next time someone admits to you that they actually do enjoy professional wrestling, don't remind them that it's fake. They know, and it's okay. Don't forget to check out our guide to Malcolm Gladwell's David and Goliath to learn more about the power of underdogs. Remember, Shortform makes the world's best guides to nonfiction books, complete with well-crafted exercises to help you learn faster and remember more. You can get a 5-day free trial and a discounted annual subscription if you go to shortform.com/YouTube. Click the link in the description below. And finally, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next Shortform video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time, and enjoy WrestleMania!